when you and I had a conversation, we talked on the phone, and I just thought it was very important. I want to hear why you thought it was very important for you and I to have a conversation.
Yeah.
To settle our differences.
Well, we know that Shannon Sharpe and Mike Epps just did they Club Shay interview, but we remember the beef that they had about going on about almost 2 years ago, and it was ugly when the industry started to really come down on Shannon Sharpe, right? And Mike Epps, he went on to his in his stage performance, he said some stuff about Shannon.
That nigga Shannon Sharpe called me trying to do an interview. I said, no, Medea, I ain't doing no interview. So you can sit across from me and look at my balls. I'll sit down, nigga. Thought he was going to attack Cat. That nigga's called Shay. The nigga's telling you. Put a wig on that nigga, tell me if that ain't Medea's sister. They exposing everything.
That was right on the heels of the Shannon Sharpe, Cat Williams interview when the whole internet exploded and everybody was talking about it because Cat Williams came on there and went after everybody in the industry. And, a lot of comedians was upset. And Mike Epps just was, his joke was saying, I was mad because he didn't say nothing about me. Right? And, he really got at Shannon, and then Shannon responded.
I reached out to you to come on Club Shay, and you a mofo lie. Now, when I see you, I'm going to see you. I'm going to see if you about that.
Okay.
I'm going to see if you want to say what you've been saying on trying to get some jokes because you got mad because Cat Williams did what he did.
Now, Shannon, Shannon could be real messy, right? And he interviewed Cat, and he didn't make Cat say what he said, but Cat said what he said anyway. Then he brought Monique on, and Monique went hamburger too on the industry, right? And Shannon, he asked a lot of explosive questions, to edge it on, right? So now, when Mike Epps heard Shannon's response, he came back and he responded like this.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did DM you to get on the show. But I DM'd you to get on the show because you brought my name up when you were sitting there with Cat. And you was trying to get him to talk crazy about me, but he didn't. Okay? Now, second of all, talking about pulling up on me. You're going to be an all-star. I'm going to be at the all-star in my hometown. And I'm going to see you. All right? I'm going to see you, brother. And I'm just letting you know. I don't be doing no fighting lately. I don't do no fighting. So, there's only one other option. If you don't fight, you do blank.
So at some point, they came together because, they had the All-Star weekend in Indiana, and they came together, man, and cooler heads prevailed. They chilled all that wild stuff out. These are OGs, millionaires in the game. It don't make no sense for them to be beefing. And Shannon got out his feelings and understood that it was just comedy. And, they sat down, had dinner together. They broke bread. But there was somebody, just one dude is just the ultimate hater of them all. Steven Jackson, just the phone. He want to be a gangbanger, basketball player, Muslim, weed smoker. He all over the place, right? He just everything, right? Well, in the All in Smoke podcast, he interviewed Mike Epps, and he voiced his opinion on Shannon in that Mike Epps interview. Y'all remember this?
There's headlines between, you had to stand up, you had said some stuff, and obviously Shannon Sharpe in his podcast and Cat Williams and all this, it really made headlines, broke records. You recently got in a minute and was telling jokes, how you tell jokes, and it kind of started getting back and forth, but I was glad, I knew it would happen. You and Shannon were able to talk and figure it out, and that happened, I think, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Can you you don't have to tell us what it's about, but just how that came about and where you guys are at now?
Well, we at the end of the day, this is all entertainment. That's what this is. We're not selling drugs. We're not in the underworld. So there's some guidelines and rules to the business that we're in. And, at the end of the day, we got families, we got kids and stuff like that. So sometimes we can get out of line, man. And me personally, I can get out of line a little bit. Sometimes, I said some stuff that I did, some stuff I shouldn't have said. Some of the stuff was good. It was funny. Everybody was laughing. But then when I went back and looked at it, I said, yeah, I kind of crossed the line a little bit. But when you go across the line, you're already there. So I just didn't expect I just didn't expect the brother to get so mad about it, you know. And then, like I said on the podcast, I said a lot of people have been talking about it. I mean, I seen it on Saturday Night Live. I seen a lot of Corey Holcomb, different ones. I just was wondering why, you know what I mean?
You got singled out.
And then, you know, he told me, he was like, you know what, Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was because it was you. He said, because guess what?
I fuck with you.
These people out here, they'll damn near do what you tell them to do. So when he said that, I said, damn, you right, man. I didn't look at it that way at first. And it just brought some light to me, man. And, you know, I felt bad about it. And I wanted to meet up with him and personally look him in the face and tell him that I was sorry. Because I've been messing with people and talking about them since I was a kid. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, I hold my breath when I was a kid and say, I'm about to do it. And I'll talk about the bully. I'll talk about the dude that shoot everybody and all that and say something to him that don't nobody say, man, look at them shoes and bump. And everybody be laughing. He be looking like, I'm finna kill you. You know, so that's my thing. That's what I do. I crack jokes.
Right.
On anybody.
Period. Right.
On myself.
Got to be able to laugh at yourself.
If I go on camera, if I'm doing stand, that's what I told him too.
But if they jokes, why you got to apologize if they jokes?
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, man, it wasn't Shucky Ducky telling the joke. It was Mike Epps that got a 5-season sitcom on Netflix. It's been in the business for 30 years. It's Mike Epps that, you know.
Name hold weight. Your name holds some weight.
Yeah, so you know, it was Mercedes-Benz versus Hyundai.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mercedes-Benz said something about me. I got to say something about what he said. You know, that's what happened, man. So we shook hands, we made cool. And one thing I wanted to show these kids.
There's another way to do it.
I wanted to show these kids that guess what? No matter how I felt about him and how he felt about me, that guess what? This don't have to end in violence. And I'm not about to prove myself to nobody and mess what I worked so hard for to show somebody I'm a real nigga.
Nobody's too big to be talked about though. You did the right thing, but everybody can be talked about.
I not talk about everybody.
Yeah,
I have talked about everybody. I'm serious. I mean, I talked about Shaq straight in his face. I done called him Shrek and all kinds. He just be laughing. I'm thinking that he gonna laugh too.
You only get mad like that when there's some truth to it, dog. That's just how I feel.
Speaking of, I'm glad you guys got to talk.
You can see, like, you know, at that point, like, you know, he ended the beef, he apologized, and he a comedian, and Steven Jackson is a sucker because, you know, he was saying, you know, you could be what you got to apologize for, and we're in a climate today where everything is just, you know, you got to watch what you say about people because everybody take everything personal nowadays, and like he said it wasn't the fact that you said, it was the fact of who you are. When you say it, and everybody run with that, especially with social media today. You know, years back, we didn't have social media where everything just explodes all over the place and it lingers, it stays around for a long time, and it can shape and mold your image based off of what somebody said about you, right? So that's the one thing about social media today that when I was in my 20s, that didn't exist. Right, that wasn't there. Whatever words I said about somebody, it stayed amongst the people that was in that little circle. Nowadays, somebody can say something about me and on the internet, and it can go around the world, and everybody will start saying it. And then by the time they get back to me, they done added on stuff. It's just, it never goes nowhere. It stays there, and at some point, it shapes and molds the perception of who I am. So the internet could be dangerous at times too when people say things about you, right? But Mike Epps and Shannon Sharpe had a recent sit down and they said this.
You and I had a conversation. We talked on the phone. And I just thought it was very important. I want to hear why you thought it was very important for you and I to have a conversation.
Yeah.
To settle our differences. Be it agree or disagree, we can agree to disagree. But I felt that we need to have a conversation. And I'm gonna tell you what, I was gonna tell you my things from my point of view. I wanted you to hear from your point of view. Right. And I didn't anticipate you showing up at Country Kitchen. Sid set that up because she knew I was coming. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting down there and Jordan, he said, boss, Mike Epps. So now I'm like, okay, I ain't too much. I can tussle for
Nigga, that was my hometown. You was talking shit to me on the way to my hometown. And then you got to the Country Kitchen. When you got to the airport, said Shannon Sharpe here at the airport. I said, oh shit, Shannon Sharpe at the hotel at the airport.
I talked to a man, Turfy, talk to him.
Your ass was coming there anyway.
I was coaching the All-Star game.
Yeah, you was coming there anyway. Yeah. But that was the thing, Shannon. It was one of the most important things that came out of that is we got a chance to show these little youngsters out here that guess what? It ain't always got to end in no violence.
It doesn't.
Or fighting each other
Correct.
and putting our hands on each other. Because at the end of the day, we still all black men.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We're
Yep.
still all examples in front of
Millions.
That's just like whatever Cat said. It wasn't that bad.
Right.
It was like roasting them.
Yeah.
He just got up here and roasted everybody. Nigga, I can take my jacket off too. Just in case. Shit.
All right, we up here in white tee.
Think you're gonna try to just in case you get upset. Nigga.
But no, I think the thing was for me
Right.
is that everything that you said that I wanted to show. Look, we disagree, but just because we disagree, that doesn't mean we have to fight. We have to like get out here because at the end of the day, ain't no other group doing that but us.
You're right.
Ain't nobody doing that but us.
You're right.
I mean, ain't nobody fighting Joe Rogan.
No.
Ain't nobody fighting Theo Vaughn.
No.
Ain't nobody fighting Andrew Schultz. And there might be people that say things that they disagree with. But we're the only ones that feel like I got to show you how much macho, how big and bad I am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
We ain't got to do that, bro. Let's go ahead and get this money.
So I like the fact that they was able to come together and squash their differences, man, and and be two examples of what black men should be, especially when you're out there getting money. I'm definitely a fan of Mike Epps. I've been watching Mike Epps and liking Mike Epps for many years. So shout out to both of them, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comments section. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time, peace.